Well, hey, hey, hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, Miss Amber?
I am great. How are you?
Doing good. You had a real good past couple of weeks?
Yeah, not bad. Can't complain. The weather's finally warm.
I know. T-shirt weather.
Yes, finally.
Um, yeah, I think it was mid to upper 70s here today.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, we have friends in the chat. Do you want to see who all's there?
Yes, we have Dave Orkin, number one. We got Rygon and him again. We have Andy. Hey, Andy. Curtis, safe travels. Have fun at MiskyCon. We have Darla. Hi, Darla.
Darla.
Kemp Pool. What else do we have in here? We have Stacy Lynn packing up the car. Have fun.
Woohoo!
So exciting.
I know.
Steph Ork. We got Jordan. Rob Zamora. Michael Morales. We have Greg. Hey, Greg. Hey, G. We have William and Brian. Oh,
Hey,
and
hey.
Kevin McCoy.
Hey. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for stopping in. Couple of things. I am so excited. I got a package from Anthony at Noble Bear Customs, and I am super excited. So, I think I've talked about on here how I was trying to do the four North Carolina ACC teams for customs. Just got in my head, and I've been thinking about it and trying to work out how to do it all. Well, Noble Bear Customs had the coolest um, wolf
Nice.
head that I am going to use for my wolf pack. And I just think that was really neat. So I
That,
picked that one up. Ooh,
oh
I'll
my
use that one.
goodness.
And then while I was on there, I saw this. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I love that. That
And
is
I just thought, you know what? We're getting a unicorn. So I'm sure I can do something really neat with that one.
oh yeah.
Since I'm going to have a unicorn anyway. May have two if I paint that. And then Sweet Anthony sent me a free head. Isn't that cool?
Like that. That's nice.
Yeah, I really like him. I think he's cool. So I'm super excited about starting to think about how I want to do my wolf pack and do Mr. Wolf. So we'll go with that, and then of course I'm finished with my Demon Deacon and starting on my Duke Blue Devil. And here we have him put together.
So good.
Still got some work we need to do to kind of smooth everything out, and then I'll prime him and start painting. But I'm super excited. That looks so good.
Yeah.
But that was fun to put together. Emil, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of the teaching us how to drill and do all the things that we needed to do to put all that together. So, um, anyway, just wanted to show that off because I'm super excited about getting those done.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
And then thank you to Darla for sending me my Duke Blue Devil cape that I am going to use for him. I'm super excited, Darla. Mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot wait now to get it done so I can use my cape. All right. So the reason everybody is here, isn't that gorgeous, dear Jordan? It's beautiful. All right. The reason everybody is here is not for Amber and I, although We are looking good tonight, girl. We are here to see and talk to our good buddy, Joe Vasapollo. Hey, Joe.
Oh, hey, almost forgot. For Nate, Mr. Strong. I know. Going to podcast. Got to put on the helmet. Yeah. How's it going?
What was it somebody said when he saw you in that helmet? He thought of you doing the Noble Bear cry, Noble.
That tracks. Yeah, it needs some updates. I've been meaning to put horns on this thing. They're around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but enough of that. We got that out of the way.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much for agreeing to come on and talk with us. I know it's probably not the normal show that everybody sees, but because we ask a few questions that probably aren't exactly what everybody else tends to ask, but we do have a lot of fun. Um, so let's go back. When and how did you first see Mythic Legions? Were you part of the Kickstarter? Did you come in afterwards? Kind of give us your background with Mythic Legions.
I came in around the 1.5 wave or zero point 0.7. It was after. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to remember anything now. It wasn't the first wave. It was around the time of Ilgar
Oh,
when that was up for the in stock sale. I remember seeing that one up before Advent of Decay. Around then, I had Ramathor, the elephant from Seventh Kingdom. I noticed the Horsemen were doing a sale. They're like, "Hey, we have some back stock, some older items. It's the first run. They had some issues, but they were cheap. I think I got it for $10." And I got one for me and a couple for some buddies. And I opened it up and was like, wow, like the paint on these is amazing. The sculpt blew my mind. Like elephants aren't necessarily my favorite animal, but I love this thing. It
right.
was just fantastic. And then I looked at the others. I think there was like the mutant, and then I tried to hunt down some others, but I'm like, all right, I'm down. And then I started to see they had like that fan vote. You get to choose what the next figure is, and I think they're the Raven one. I love that Raven, so I'm like, I got to figure out a way to get that. And eventually, I just bought some. I think the first one I got was online on eBay, Gorgo Aetherblade, because I was a little hesitant. So I got that one complete, and it just blew my mind. I couldn't believe just how like the paint was great on it. It was put together well. I like all the joints at that time that had like great retention. And once I realized you could pop them apart, I was like, oh, this is trouble. Because I've been like, I got Lego all over the desk. I've been like messing with like Lego minifigures and making a bunch of like sword and sorcery customs with these guys and getting like not 3D parts, but there's aftermarket parts you can buy. But I was doing those for years, and I realized, oh wait, I could do this in 6 inch. And I got like buckets of McFarlane parts over here I could swap around. I'm like, all right, this is cool. So yeah, I kind of got in there late, but the first time I actually bought stuff from them, like I was able to get like I think it was like a bronze dwarf. I remember Otho was up, the White Owl, Babutros, I think. They're like the Silverhorn Century was available, Kador, like all those guys. It was an awesome lineup, but once I got them in, I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. Yeah, it just took me a little bit. I had seen it and just lost track that Kickstarter was even happening. And
Right.
then I started to see it hit. Like I would see articles on Fwish and other toy sites and be like, all right, I gotta check this out.
That's awesome. So getting the elephant and seeing it in hand is kind of what made you look at Four Horsemen a lot closer. Just
Yeah, and I'd known that they had worked for McFarlane previously, and they did all the redesigns of Masters of the Universe for Cartoon Network show, and I love those. I was at an age when that came out where I was like, maybe it's time to grow up, put this stuff aside, have other focuses in life, and put the money towards I don't know, a car. and then they had to go and make that stuff, and it just been downhill from there. Because I just love those designs. They were so much fun. I wish Mattel would have allowed them to put more articulation into the sculpts.
Oh yeah.
Um, I had seen at the studio there's actually some of the two ups, some of the earlier pieces where there's different articulation than what we actually got in the figures on those. So to see what they wanted to do compared to what they were able to do, it's pretty neat that, we got what we did. And I was very happy with those figures. I was eating them up. So yeah, I was aware of them, and then finding out now that there were so many members that worked for other toy companies and did different things. I was buying people's stuff and not even realizing it.
Right.
Like it's just amazing the amount of talent that has built up in there over the years.
Yeah, that article they did on Source Horsemen about all of the different figures that they have been a part of throughout their careers. I mean, I was reading that and just like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe all of the stuff that they've actually had a hand in
Right.
doing and creating. That was a really really cool article. Go
Yeah.
read the article, everybody. Come on.
Hmm.
Um, so from collecting them, finding out that you could pop them apart and customizing them, how did you get into like working with the Four Horsemen? Where did that relationship start?
Um, I got like my first order in and realized that they were shipping not all that far away from where I was working at the time. So I sent them an email. And this is early, like before it like really got big, there was so many more fans. Um, Even back then, they were like totally like, open arms and willing to talk to anybody about anything. But I emailed them like, hey, I work a town over. Would it be all right if I just came by and picked it up sometime? And that's all I wanted to do was just pick it up. I
Right.
was just excited. I'm like, I pass this place twice a day, 5 days a week. I could just swing by and just grab it. And at the time, Cornboy's son Mike was doing the shipping. He was handling all of that. So he hit me back and was like, yeah, come on by. Just give a call. So I get there. I forget what day we arranged it, but I give a call. I'm like, hey, I'm here. And Eric Treadway comes to the door. He goes, oh, Joe, right? I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, that's me. And I thought it'd just be like, oh, here's your order. Thanks for your business. Have a good one. And I was ready for that, and just like, oh, cool, thanks. And then it turned into a 20-minute tour of the studio,
Oh
where she
wow.
was like, hey, I'm sculpting some stuff. You want to come in and take a look? I was like, yeah. And I'd seen like all their two ups and things that were coming out and some other lines they were working on. I was like, wow, 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 and it just gave me the tingles because of course, as most people know, they're connected to a scene shop, and at the time that was the kind of work I was doing, building sets for off Broadway TV props and all that kind of thing. So I was already kind of in that world. So to see that one part of the building did what I was professionally doing, and the other part of the building did what I do for a hobby, it was like just a nexus of all these things that I love in one spot. And it just felt so good to be there and see all the creativity in the building. And just like before I walked out, I'm sure at one point I could realize and I was overstaying the welcome. Even Jim came from around the corner. It was kind of like, hey, how you doing? You got your stuff? All right. It was kind of like that. And I was like, hey, you hiring? And they're like, no, sorry. Like we're okay. Thank you though. But after that, they were nice enough to allow me to come back and pick up orders. But every time I would, it would be like, hey, want to see what we're working on? Like, all right, yeah, sure. And every now and then I'd be like, hey, I painted up one of your figures. It looks like this. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. All right. And then they started to do the Legions, the G cons, and they invited me to come on, and I would be invited to show off custom work, and that's how I like really got to know them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. And I can't imagine going into a place where you work and what you love being in the same be, ah!
It was very strange because I'd never been there before, yet everything around me felt so familiar, down to like the warehouse being full of like road cases and just like weird props, like things that you don't expect to like. It's like someone took like Home Depot and like a furniture store and an antique shop, and just like dumped it out into one building and put all the stuff on the shelves. And that's what I was just used to, and like all the power tools and the wood racks, all that. I'm like, I'm around this all the time for years. And then seeing the toy studio, and like, that's my desk at home, except they're doing it way better. Way better. So
Oh,
yeah, no, it was really awesome. Everyone was really nice, and just, I mean, they're fans too,
right.
you
Right.
know?
So then, I mean, at some point in that relationship, after you met them and you go pick up your stuff, you were like, hey, do you need help shipping that out? Or, I mean, how did that all, was that like you going, hey, don't you want me to stay? Or was that them, oh, why don't you go help ship? I mean, what kind of created that kind of relationship?
No, COVID had hit. I lost my production work. All entertainment business was dead,
Right.
and I just needed to keep working because I went totally nocturnal. I was like going to bed at 8 in the morning and waking up at 5 in the afternoon, and I was awake like all night. I needed a job, and we needed money. That's what it came down to. So I ended up taking a job at a chemical plant, and the only background I had was like I work in a warehouse and I can operate a forklift. That's it.
Right.
So I was working at this chemical plant that was a town over again from Four Horsemen Studio, and I think it was the Exodus sale. And I was doing okay enough to, pick up a few things from the Exodus sale. So I hit him up again. I was like, hey, I got a few things. Can I come pick it up? Sure. So I go on over to get my order. And at that time, Chris was doing so much. It was him and Bill in the office most of the time, if not all the time. And everybody else was working from home. So Chris was doing the shipping, customer service,
Wow.
all the excuse me, all the production, everything. He was super busy. And he's like, lucky you're like a town over, because if you were waiting for this to show up, like I'm the only one doing this. I'm by myself, so you could have been waiting a while. So it's lucky you could pick it up. I'm like, well, like, you want some help? Like, I'll come by like a couple. Like, I get done at like 4:30 every day. I can come in. I'll do a few hours on weekdays, and if nothing's going on the weekends, I'll come in on the weekends every now and then, depending on how long it takes. He's like, yeah, or all right, yeah, we'll see. And a couple days later, like, I realized they're still shipping. I'm like, hey, you want that help or not? He's like, yeah, get in here. So we ended up finishing Exodus, and I helped out with that. And then I was like, well, that was fun. Like, kind of talking like, what's next? What's the plans? And it's like, well, we have some ideas, and I don't know how we're going to do it. Like, well, if you need help again, just let me know. Eventually, he hit me up and was like, hey, we're going to start doing little in stock sales here and there. Uh, Nothing too crazy. It's not Exodus, but you want to do that? Sure. So I was packing almost all those orders for the smaller in stock sales. Like, for a while, that was me. Um, and then eventually Arathier came in, and again, I was just like a couple hours a day on weekdays, and then some weekends here and there. But it was great because I went from not having work for almost 2 months, not knowing what I was going to do. I mean, the money I was making was okay, but not what I was used to. So I'm
Right.
like, I need a second job.
Yeah.
Um, and I just loved doing what I was doing at the studio, and being around that stuff way more than working with chemicals and fragrances and coming home smelling like the Macy's
Right.
fragrance department and whatever hunters use to attract deer,
Right.
because they made everything. So I'm like, I'd much rather be doing this. So I'm sorry. Long story short, some old production friends of mine hit me up when the world started to open up again, and they're like, "There's a production gig over here. You'll get a job in the city. You'll be able to, like, go to events and everything again. Like, you would be good for this. Come over here. We're gonna put a word in for you. Like, you're gonna get this. Just come on over." I'm like, well, if I do this, I don't know what my schedule's going to be for studio. I don't know if I'm going to be able to help anymore. So I went to Jim. I said, I have a pretty good opportunity to, like, make a better living somewhere else. I don't know how available I'm going to be to you anymore. I'm going to be working events, so no more weekends. I'll probably have late nights because we're tearing down events, or that's when they happen. So I'm like, I don't know how available I'm going to be. So this is either goodbye for now or hire me. A few days later, he's like, if you want to be a horseman, you're in. I was like, my man.
Yay!
So that's pretty much how we got here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been good since.
Yeah. So you did shipping for a while,
Yeah,
and now do you do painting most of the time now? I mean, are you in that portion of it now?
I am completely out of shipping.
Okay.
Now that we have Diego on full time
Mm-hmm.
and Cookie in full time, basically Cookie has taken over for me when it comes to running the shipping crew, like ordering boxes, figuring out like which one of the, what like who does what and shipping room, warehouse, all that kind of stuff. That has, for the most part, fallen squarely on him, and he's doing a great freaking job.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's probably doing a better job than me, to be honest, because I would be in the shipping room, and then they'd say, "Hey, come into the studio, grab all the parts to put this figure together," or we need these, excuse me, we need these 3D prints cleaned up. So I'd have to step away, and then I'd lose track of what's going on there. So I was just like all over the place in the building.
Right.
Um, but Cookie, he's able to stay in that room all day and focus on what's going on there, and he's really got a good head for it. So he's got that room humming. And right now, I'm really more at a studio desk, more like in prototypes and a little bit of production, learning some things from Chris, and the whole process, different materials, all that. But
Right.
it's really fun to be creative there. It's a blast.
Oh, I am 100% sure of that.
Yeah,
I've seen your work,
thank you.
Andrew. I'm just going to leave it there.
A
And
lot of that is CGSM because I don't have any of those pieces here with me, but I had like cut out little pieces of fabric and I colored them with a marker and I put chain where I wanted it and we sent it off to him. And what I gave him compared to what he gave back is like night and day.
I'm sure.
And it is such so far and big of an improvement what he sent back where it's like I might have come up with the concept, but it's the frills that
Right.
C. Jessam and I'm forgetting names. I'm sorry, but like that, those two are just awesome.
Keep,
And Sir
yeah.
Andrew would not be as good as he is without those soft goods. I'll tell you.
But I mean, the concept, the color, everything that you came up with for him was amazing. And the pilot, oh my gosh,
Yeah, he was fun.
that pilot is beautiful. That was
Yeah,
the first thing Kevin noticed at Toylanta last year when he
it's
got
because it's so shiny.
right when he got up close to it and was able to really see it. He was like, "Tanya, that is beautiful," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's gorgeous." So
Yeah, we've gotten in some production samples, and I'd have to say that the the factory did pretty good
that's
doing
awesome.
a match for it. So if you've seen the prototype, the production piece is going to be like right on top of it. It won't disappoint. It's really good.
Can't wait. Okay. um. Okay. So let's go back to customizing. Um, and you said a little bit, you started with Legos. You would create Legos, and then you got in um, your Mythic Legions, and you
Hmm.
started popping and swapping and stuff. So, like, when did all of the customizing start? Where did that where did you say, "Hey, I see this, but I want this instead," and then start putting things together? Like, how did that come to be?
I just so happen to have it around. It would have to be around the time Batman and Robin came out, the film.
Okay.
And I was so disappointed that Robin looked like Nightwing, but not enough like comic Nightwing.
Right.
So I made this out of one of the movie figures, and it's got like some like air hardening clay on it. Like I sculpted the hair and everything on it. I painted it up because I wanted it to look like the comic book. It's really rough looking back on it now, but I also did this. I forget how old I was back in what, 96, whenever that film came out. But yeah, this is one of my earliest things that got me started.
That is
Oh
amazing.
yeah. You know the little trees from like model car kits where it has all the pieces on there?
Ah,
I had this baton. Oh, I didn't drill the holes. I had holes for the cape on the back, so I just left a peg so you could put the batons on the back like that.
that is crazy.
So yeah, I was doing it since like I'd say like my early teens,
Wow.
and a lot of it came from I was kind of rough with my toys. Every now and then I would break something,
Right.
and my dad would try to fix it for me if we couldn't just buy another one, or sometimes it didn't make a difference. But yeah, just like trying to I don't like waste. So like if it would break, I would just try to fix it instead of getting a new one.
Yeah.
And I started to like learn things, and my dad would build model kits, and he would show me a few tricks. So like really, it came down to, let's say Toy Biz was putting out a new Marvel character, like a lot of that. If they had a new costume in a box, it's like, oh, I want that. So I'd start to paint it up, and like of course I'm using the wrong paints, I'm using the wrong brush, but Dad'd be like, well, what are you doing that for? Like, here, sit down, I'll show you. So he showed me quite a lot. So it started way way back, like early teens.
Wow.
And Lego's easy, you just kind of pop it together. Just
Right.
like the Legions, they're pretty easy too, but I like to take it a few steps further and like, this other toy line looks good with this and I want to make it work like that, or I don't like how the neck turns and all that sort of stuff. So, just make it what you want it to be. Just be creative and whip out the tools. Don't be afraid to chop stuff up.
So was that
That's
your first custom?
That's one of my
Like,
very earliest ones. Um, I don't even know if I have my first one here. It might have been a Spider-Man. I was trying to make a Spider-Man out of a bunch of, I think it was like the animated series figures. I wanted one Spider-Man figure that did all the things that Spider-Man could. So I wanted magnets in the hands. I wanted a hand that shot a web. Uh, I wanted one that could like do a flip, but I wanted to put it all into like one figure. So it was like by the time I was finished, it was like one like really like the torso was cracked in so many areas. I had like legs that had like the super articulation, but one of the arms was like totally straight, and the other one was like the bicep was way bigger than the other side. It was just like it was a Frankenstein. It was horrible. But yeah, just trying to make all that happen for a while. Yeah, I was just grabbing all my Spider-Mans, and sometimes I had holes in the bottom, sometimes they didn't. Just taking magnets so I can put them all in the fridge. There's little stuff
that's
like
so
that, just
cool.
trying to mess with it. Just add a little extra here and there.
that's awesome. So, do you remember what your first custom using Mythic parts was?
It was, do I have it here? I don't think so. May actually be in the cabinet. It was a bronze dwarf. Yeah, it was the bronze dwarf. I just painted a bunch of like blue and silver accents into the armor. So I'm looking at this thing, and I like dwarves, but before, like from like Lord of the Rings, like all those sorts of things, they weren't necessarily my favorite character type. But I love the sculpt on this thing, and I'm like, I want it to look as cool as all the other things that have more paint. And I couldn't find any of the other characters at the time. Like, all right, I guess I'll just make my own. But I was seeing like these are neat as is. I don't want to mess it up. I was looking at other stuff, and then I'm like, let's give it a shot, you know. So I started messing with it, and actually that dwarf was the first thing I had shown to Cornboy when I went to pick up another order at the studio. I was like, hey, I'm messing with your stuff. I painted this, and he goes, oh, that's neat. Um, Maybe we'll use this sometime. I'm like, oh, really? Like, you sure? And he's like, if you don't mind. I'm like, uh-huh, yeah, go for it. Like, please. And it was weird to have that reciprocation because I had appreciated all the work those guys had done over the years. So for them to see something that I had did and said, that's cool. Not even like it's awesome. It's like, it's their stuff. I just added to it.
Right.
But it's for
Yes.
them to be like, oh, that's really neat. Like, wow. Like that's cool. Like, it was a great feeling. I won't ever forget it. But yeah, it would have had to have been that dwarf with I think the wings from an Ilgar. Those kind of like bluish green wings. I have
Right.
it around here somewhere. I have it that I bring it to every show, and I won't sell it, even though I can make another one like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that one's mine. You want
Right.
one? Maybe I'll make you one, but no, that's mine.
Um, Kevin said it's awesome that you got to share that with your dad.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
You and he had something like that to share. I think that's awesome.
He was always into like cars, planes, tanks, NASCAR for a little while, which I could not get into, honestly. I didn't. I came to an age where I could get a driver's license, and I didn't. I just took the bus and took my bike everywhere. Like I was weird. I didn't want to drive, and then life kept on showing me that you need to learn how to freaking drive.
Yeah.
And I don't think I got my license till I was like 20 or 19.
Oh wow.
I just didn't care. I was just on my bike all the time. I could do everything I needed to, go to work, go to college, at least, meet up with friends somewhere. They would pick me up. But yeah, when it came to dad, he would take me to like collectible shows, car shows. It's a lot of model kits, a lot of older stuff. Like early 90s, there weren't too many toys out there. Every now and then I'd run into like a Secret Wars figure and some Star Wars figures, some GI Joes here and there. Uh, I just don't feel like when it came to action figures, those shows were as action figure heavy as they are now. In fact, I figure there's probably less like car shows, like toy car shows, than there are action figure collectible shows as they are now. But I would go to shows with him. He would build the cars, and he would just be like, "Here's $20. Don't leave with anybody. Don't leave the building. Don't spend it all at one place. You know, come back in 5 minutes." So I would just run around and I'd buy like Battle Beasts and GI Joes and Thundercats that I didn't have, stuff like that. But yeah, that's where I appreciated things, and he was always into the cars. But we met in between with Batmobiles, so I'd be able to get a kit and be like, "Make me the Batmobile," and he'd be like, "Car done, let's go." So that was our in between. Just like with my son, he doesn't really care for action figures, but he loves dragons. When it comes to dragons, like that's our middle ground. Everything else he doesn't care so much about, but he's got an Arachagore on his shelf.
Yeah.
When that came home, he had seen it before at the studio. I brought him by a few times, and so he knew about it. But when I had one in the house, his eyes lit up. He just walked right over and grabbed it. Was like, "Thank you," and he just walked away. I was like, "Well, crap. I guess that's his now. I gotta get another one." So yeah, yeah, that's where me and Dad met in between when it came into like painting and customizing. He did cars. I wanted to do toys, and with me and the little man, it's dragons.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Arachagore, you know, and I know she is beautiful and she is gorgeous, and I do love her. Thrace is absolutely
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
ladies, I'm so sorry, but Arachagore is still my favorite. Love Arachagore.
I get it. I get it. We've seen lots of humans. I mean, really, Thrace is fantastic, but it is a human with a weird skin tone. Arachagore is a dragon man. You don't see that too often.
No, he is awesome.
He is always within reach.
Yeah, mine's down there.
It's my man. All my dragons.
I was gonna say, so you had to get one for yourself if your son took yours.
Just his enthusiasm about it overwhelmed my no, dude, that's mine. Like, no, okay, you like it that much, that's all right. I'll get me another one. Like I know where to go. It'll be fine. The Scourge, though, he doesn't know the Scourge is here. That Scourge is back here. Stays with me. And when they come out later, hopefully within a few months, when they hit, then he can have his.
Right.
But for now,
it's mine.
yeah. No, but yeah, the sculpt of this guy and watching Cameron paint this over that short time, like having the pieces for this come off the printer, and they're like, "We need these cleaned up," and seeing this head for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
It was like Christmas. We get Christmas so many times in a year.
I was going to say, you get
It's crazy.
Probably daily or weekly there when they print something or do something, you see it and you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
It's like watching a Polaroid develop, It's like you have an idea of what it is, except you didn't take the picture, It's like someone hands it to you, And you're like, oh, well, I know I like all the pictures they've taken before and just watch it like come to life. And then every now and then I get to develop someone's, concept, and that's really fun too.
Oh, that's
Because many people have said before, the studio is very collaborative. So it's not like no one wants to hear your opinion. Like if you have an idea, speak up. And sometimes it goes, and sometimes it doesn't, and it's fine. But like a lot of us are able like to really enjoy the job because everyone gets to throw in their 2 cents.
right. Um, John, Simple Tricks and Nonsense, he said he still has the TIE Fighter model his dad built for him back in 1979.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is great. That is awesome.
Yeah, I have a whole box of my dad's kits upstairs. Uh, he had gone blind for the last 2 years of his life. So his friends took his work and would bring it to shows and would try to sell it for him. And at one point, when he had passed, we had just kind of lost touch. Everybody was cool, but we just lost touch because I didn't need to like run around with him like I used to. And I ended up moving away. But they held on to those kits, so eventually they just weren't bringing them to shows anymore, and they were cleaning out a storage unit, and they came across them, and they hit me up. What was it? Maybe 6 years ago?
Oh,
And they're
wow.
like, "Hey, we're gonna be in a show. I think it's near where you live now. Do you want to meet up and take this box?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And, like opening it up and seeing all these things. I didn't remember all of them, but some of them, like I remember him actually at the desk with it. I remember him spraying in the yard, like getting like some of the colors I remember, like colors. I'm all about the colors.
Right.
Just remembering some of the finishes on those and how it was plastic, but he made them look like metal, like
Yeah.
die cast. They came out really good. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of them still upstairs.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's good
cool.
stuff.
That's fantastic. All right. Let's see. What is the inspiration that you use? Like when you see something and you're like, oh, I'm going to make a custom of that. I mean, is it, do you see a specific head and you think, oh, this will look good here? Or do you see a chess piece and say, oh, he should look like this? I mean, how do you like get inspiration for your customs?
Yes. No, no, really, it's a lot of that. While I think people do awesome tributes and things that are obviously like inspired by like comic book characters and everything, my goal for the most part is try to make something that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Not that I don't appreciate what's in front of me,
Hmm.
but just trying to like, just make a little change here and there because like I love Legion builders because they're easy to make into something else. I don't
Right.
have like 40 of one type of dwarf on a shelf. I have like 40 different types of dwarves on the shelf because I just like the variety of it. So just making everything look different and just trying to expand it, but still making it look like it belongs in the line. And I see a lot of people out there like you can tell some customizers have a style,
Right.
and the work is incredible. Uh, but you can tell that maybe it didn't come from the studio because it's got a different piece on it. It has a different feel to it. Maybe
Right.
it looks a little more on the cartoon side. Maybe it's like hyper realistic. Um, but my goal and where my comfort level is making it look different than everything else that's in the line, but make it look like it could still be in the line. So and that's just typically where I end up with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate a lot of people's work, and it's always nice to see where these things will go because every figure is like a blank page.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. We're going to bring up some of your work, and please don't feel like you have to tell us everything about these, but I do want to show them because
Mhm.
to me they are amazing.
Yeah, this one's a good example. So it has a Brian Berg, a Von Berg head on there, and a chest plate from Wolf King Customs, and a sword from Detour Customs. So right there, it's like
Those are cool.
three 3D printer within the community in one figure, and it's like a lot of people's visions come together in one.
Right.
So like that's the kind of thing that I really really like about this community because it's not just my work. It's the studio's work. It's Eric's vision along with so many other people's and like inspiration from different types of things. I don't normally have backstories to characters.
Right.
I've said it before. I'm really shallow about the things that I make. Maybe I consider like this would be on this team or this is the type of character this is. Like maybe that's not a human. Maybe it's just like the skin is blue. Is it ethereal? Is it like a haunted armor? Like I don't know. Um, I just want to make something that looks cool.
Yeah. And I think that could absolutely be in the line. I think it,
Yeah,
absolutely could be.
yeah, yeah. This one's neat. It has the belt and pauldrons from a McFarlane figure. I think it's Tyr the Dragon Rider from this McFarlane fantasy line that was like early to mid 2000s. It lasted one wave, and they were going to do another, but for whatever reason they canceled it. It was around the time they were making dragons. Like one of my favorite toy lines was the
Right.
McFarlane dragons, and Sherry ended up painting quite a few of those dragons. I found that out not long ago, and it was like, oh my God, I've loved your work for so long. Like, well, of course, like she told me, and it was both surprising, not surprising at the same time, knowing that like she's fully capable of doing that stuff, but knowing that it was actually her brush on those things was like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah, that's
uh,
all.
yeah, and I think he's got pants. Yeah. So the pants that are on him, I think, is they're made by Joseph Campbell. I got them not long ago. I bought about three pairs from him. They got lost in the mail for like 2 months, maybe longer. He sent them in like January, and I didn't get them till like a couple weeks ago. He made me a whole new set of pants and threw an extra one in, and eventually, the first package came in. So I have all these dwarf pants. I love it because I can't just wait for ours to come out. I like
Right.
just knowing that they're coming isn't enough. Like
Right.
if someone can make them, great. So thanks, Joseph. Much appreciated. Um, he's got an axe from Wolf King Customs. I picked that up at ZoloCon, and those shins are off of a Gorilla Grodd from the uh, the McFarlane DC Multiverse figure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that guy's all over the place. I love it. Yep, it's
Gorgeous.
just another night. There's some Max Bird soft goods on the lower section there. I think that belt, I can't remember if yeah, it's probably a Max Bird belt too. The head is from, wow, Planetary Dog Toys,
Mm-hmm.
Sebadom. And I think those pauldrons were my action figure customs. Maybe the sword too. I think that sword's from there. Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to make a night. There was lots of, we had a lot of, God, I can't remember his name now. Well, whatever night that's based on, we had a ton of him. I just want to use them up. Yep,
Right.
there's another Wolf King special. The chest plate and the head there.
Yeah.
The cape is from a Lord of the Rings figure. I forget which one. Probably a Faramir.
Oh, that's
The
cool.
sword's from I think Medieval Spawn. It needs some paint, but I mean, for now it's good. Oh,
I
Lee
reckon
J.
that one.
Yeah, that's my Lee J. That's how I want to like when we were putting it together in the studio. I was like, I like this build, but I had two different characters in it, and I'm like, I need a different build for one of these characters, and I'm looking at the parts, and I'm like, it has that really aggressive armor,
Yeah.
and it's kind of heavier. I think that works better for the orc, but I love the head, I love the helmet. Like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make him a little more like mid to light armor, and I want him to be more of an archer because I don't have a lot of archers on the shelf, so. I figure that way he can move pretty easily and just to diversify him from the original build.
Right. Looks so good.
Yeah. That's my Scarlet Raider.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So now this is the cape. The head is a hooded head, like it's a plastic hooded head, right?
That's a 3D print. I think that's from uh Lord's Fire, God's Fire. There we go. God's Fire, Wolf King
Yeah.
again. That's from him, and it's the Headless Horseman cape inside out. I took
Oh,
off, yeah, I took off those ornaments off and the chain. I just shortened it up and cinched it around there. Ah, all right. Now this guy, I am not against using toys from other lines to toss in with my mythic. It doesn't get in my way. So this guy actually has a little bit of a story. This was a bear that was magically turned into a man.
Okay.
So that's why he's kind of like dressed it. He's got the bear helmet, he's got the pelt vest, and he's got these big like it's kind of like basically Mythos's Wolverine,
Yeah.
except that you expect a person to be turned into an animal. Well, this is backwards. There's a bear turned into a man, so he's still got a bear mentality, but in a man's body. So he's just like total berserker on the battlefield. Like he's way smaller than what he's used to being, and not as strong as he used to being, but he still has the ferocity. And if you're close enough, he's got scars all over him because he's just like an absolute brawler. But this body is a Marvel Legend Hercules.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's got some Lord of the Rings figures. It has a vest from a Marvel Legend Frankenstein. The claws are from Wolf King Customs. The head's a my action figure custom head from way back. It's got a belt from Lord of the Rings. A little bit of fur down there on the bottom of the boots.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I don't mind that he's on the shelf. He's a little out of size with the rest of them, but I like that he's a little bit smaller,
Yeah.
and all the other guys are bigger. But he used to be a bear, so the whole attitude is just like he's grumpy all the time because he's like I'm bigger than you on the inside, but I'm smaller than you on the outside. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
All right. So the arms and the legs from this are Marvel Legends Doctor Doom
Oh wow.
on the torso of the Valiant Knight, and
That
that's a 3D printed head that I think I got from Dennis Derby at Legion's Con 2 years ago. But yeah,
wow.
I just love that armor from that Doom figure. And I was able to reshape the body a bit. It's amazing how many of those pieces can get popped out. I ended up getting like, I think I have five of that Doctor Doom action figure around now. But yeah, I was able to turn it into like that body style. It really kind of feels like a cross between the 1.0 and 2.0 body size. It's a little
Right.
bit shorter, but the proportions on this thing, everything just works.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
looks so good.
And
Yeah.
this one uses the Doctor Doom torso with the Valiant Knight arms and legs plugged into that
Yeah.
with the 2.0 helmet. I love that helmet. It's one of my favorite Mythic helmets. I even have a custom that I asked George to resize that helmet for me to 1.0 style, so it's a little bit bigger, and I have that on another figure. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to use all the parts besides the head,
Right.
and like it turned out to be like a really awesome tunic. And
Yeah.
that
That's
also kind of comes out to be like a 2.0 body size.
fantastic.
Yeah, there's just another Raider Barbarian type. I forget what that had. Oh, yeah, I love this guy.
That looks so good.
Yeah, I wanted to make like kind of a good Gorgo.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have a story, but I think that sword is from like the Wonder Woman film, the first Wonder Woman film, Ares build a figure, and the head is another Wolf King Customs line. They make a lot of awesome stuff, but yeah, I just wanted to match it to that. At one point, he had the shield to Rhaegar that had the dragon emblem, the
Oh yeah.
dragon head on it, but I've since gotten rid of that Rhaegar and ended up painting up a torso to match it. I had to put them back together, but yeah, I love this one. You can't go wrong with red and black, even though a lot of people may be sick of it. I don't care. I love it.
I love this. And I love that silver. I mean, it just
Yeah.
looks amazing. I love
Yeah,
this.
it really pops on there. And I think the cape is from I forget if it's Attila or Gorgo 2.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, that was lots of fun. All right. I think I have a story for everything. I had made a Fury Orc years ago, and Trevor Williams would come by my table at the cons and be like, I want that one. And be like, I like it too much. It's not for sale. He's like, damn you. I'd be like, how about this? You have some awesome customs on your table. I see a knight that I really like. Let's trade. You get my work, I get your work. I'd be happy to have one of your pieces. He's like, but I don't want to get rid of that one. I really like it. And I'm like, then we're on the same page, man. so, so this year, he's like, you're gonna tell me no again, are you? And I'm like, maybe not. I'm trying to be better with letting things go. I have too much. I'll think about it. And again, I offered to trade. He's like, no, I can't. I'm like, all right, fine. So I sold it to him for a little bit and one of his awesome freaking calendars. He does great work, like left to his own. He does great work for us, but left to his own devices. I love how epic and his visions can be for what he does with these. It just makes them look real and puts a real dynamic twist on everything. So
Oh,
yeah, I was happy to get the calendar. So he got this orc at the Euro Legions table. I'm sorry, I don't remember who painted this head, but one of the three gentlemen painted that head, and I loved it. I'm like, I don't have any Onis, I don't have any like anything from that culture in any of my pieces. All right, I'll pick that up. And I'm like, you know what? I was going to remake the custom that I sold to Trevor, but now that I have this head, I want to do it different. So most of the pieces on here are what was on Trevor's custom, and that head just, where's my inspiration for customs? It was somebody else's piece, and getting rid of something that I didn't really want to, but I love Trevor, and I knew that he liked this piece, so I'm like, all right, it's been 3 years, you can have it. And it inspired me to make this one. So I was really glad that I would not have made this if I didn't sell that one to Trevor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
I
fun
have
one.
to show you this. Dark layers. I'll never be sick of black and red.
I honestly don't know how you could be, but yeah, I think that was a Sabadom head and the mace. Do I have it? That mace was from Diablo 3 has action figures out. They are not in Mythic Legion scale. Here, let's see. This is a basic size one. They say they're 7 inch, but the scaling's all wrong. So
Right.
this character came with that mace, and it's awesome. He comes with like a bunch of axes and something else. There's like a secret weapon you can't tell what's in there. It's like a blind bag situation. I mean,
Yep.
I just love the aesthetics of this. It's another statue, but I don't care. It looks like it would fit in this world. I get it because it's cool. Yeah, that's where that mace came from. Whew, another Wolf King custom. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the Toy Forge, Anthony House Seal. That is one of his heads on the body that I mess. That was a Faunus body that I just swapped around some pieces on. That's just a knight in the Xylernian's flock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the colors in that. And as much as I love dwarves and my favorite faction is still Noble Bear, I just love the designs that are in Xylernia's flock. Xylonia's flock. So many like natural fey, the
Yeah.
color schemes. It gets really like whimsy. Like that's where I really like feel the fantasy there. And Arathir with all those like nasty looking monsters. Yeah, these are fun. Now that's just another night using the spear from Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I've got a I've got a few of those guys in here. I haven't hit up the second Kickstarter yet. I've got to make some decisions on that, but some of the weapons from those figures work really well with Mythic. Um,
That's cool.
so I got to make sure a few of those make it in. The head is another Sabadom. Tons of awesome face plates for those knight helmets. Uh, if it's not a dwarf, it's a knight around here. There's so many of them. Yeah, that's the elf in the front there. I had made that years ago, and I had a little story for this. This was simply an elf that had joined the ranks of the army of Leodicius, but really he was kind of there to kind of be a what do you call, kind of an envoy, but almost a little bit of a spy because those factions they're pretty tight. So this guy's like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with the other guys, and that's why he has that color scheme of armor, as if he's in Leodicius. But I think he looks really good along with Lee there. A lot of the color schemes really they match up pretty well. So I'll have a bunch of these guys together at some point. Like basically that front line guard, and he fit right in.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, a dwarf. Go figure.
No,
Yeah.
a dwarf in a night. Can you believe it? You've got a dwarf in a night.
Oh yeah. So this is something I came across last night. I had seen at the studio that helmet. I was just putting on every head I could find when it was in the early runs of production. Anytime I would get a factory piece in, once it was flexible and it could bend around things, I was just putting on a bunch of heads. And eventually it ended up on Magnus. And I'm like, oh, all right, whenever I get this, I'm going to paint up a Magnus head, just change the beard color, maybe the eye color, complexion a bit, and, he'll be on this team. And the more I was looking at it, I was like, I wonder if that fits on a helmet because it gets kind of narrow on the top. So I popped it on there with some blue tack, and I really like it. I
It
like
looks
it a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
Enough that I may end up gluing it,
Oh
like
wow.
maybe doing a little bit of extra accents on, the top of the helmet there. Well, once I did this, I'm like, this needs to be a thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Kador before he got into the arena because he used to be on Etheron's group.
Yes.
So that's
That's
just how I imagined him. Some of the colors in there match, not exactly, but it always kind of bothered me that Kador had like a jousting helmet, but like barbarian look.
right.
So I just wanted like, what would he be as a knight?
Right.
This really came about when I was putting together Sir Andrew, though, because the helmet that's on him was a helmet that I wanted to go with Sir Andrew, but it already had so many extra parts, the magic effects, the soft goods. Um, it was getting to a point where it wasn't supposed to be a deluxe figure. So
Right.
at some point, like some things need to get knocked off. So I wanted that other new helmet with the pig snout type helmet. I thought that would look better because it looks more like a beak. But
Right.
I had painted that up to go with Sir Andrew, and when it was like, yeah, we're not doing that, I just made my own. So at some point, when I get Sir Andrew, that head will get moved over, and Kador's original jousting head will go onto that body.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Yep.
That's fun.
Little goblin shaman. A lot of Lord of the Rings, like rubber goods on the torso there. I'd seen a lot of people use it. Eventually, I found another one because I have most of those Lord of the Ring figures. I didn't have the heart to tear the one I had apart, but eventually there's so many toy shows around here. Amber, you know how it is.
Oh, yep.
You can find anything in this area you wait long enough, right?
Yeah.
So eventually I found one of those loose and tore that up, and I'm like, I just want a nasty little goblin, uh, mage, whatever you want to call it.
That's awesome.
Hey, another dwarf. Another Animal Warriors of the Kingdom mace there. The boots are from the Toy Forge. The belt emblem is My Action Figure Customs. That vest or tunic, whatever you want to call it, that is a Strupp Family Crafts piece
Oh wow.
that I picked up at the second or third Legions Con. Their table was across from me, a little ways down the aisle, and I picked one of these up. I have a few. I have a green and a red one as well. I miss their work. They did
Yeah.
really awesome work with Mythic stuff. I hope to get around to it at some point, and doing some more for the items. But the head, hate to say it, I got this at a con. I don't know who made it, but
Gotcha.
just another dwarf. I love looks like this where they're not too heavily armored.
Jeff said, "I made it."
Hey Jeff, happy to
Oh,
have you. Hey, another one. A lot of it is my action figure customs: boots, gauntlets, torso, pauldrons, um, Legion shop loin piece, loin armor. Oh, I love this head. So that's a Torgan Redfin head, except I ripped the fin off, and the helmet is from a Marvel Legends Punisher, the one that came with a motorcycle.
oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the picture there, and I'm not about to run out for it. But I ended up taking that mohawk from Torgen and putting it onto one of the bearded orc heads and putting some like war paint on him. Yeah, he's a nasty looking fella, but like I said, I have no problem taking parts from other toy lines, and that helmet just like, oh, big head, awesome. Thank you, Blaze.
Yeah. Um. Dang.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember what that shield is from. Might have been Call the Conqueror.
I like
Uh,
the field, and he looks. I mean,
so this is another McFarlane
oh,
situation where I forget the character's name is. Maybe it's Palatides or something like that. But he looks like a Spartan, and he had all this awesome armor, and but the figure's in this really like awkward pose, and a lot of things are out of proportion. So I just took off all the pieces I liked and put it on one of ours, and he doesn't look too much different from the original figure besides the helmet. But
oh, that's cool.
yeah, Toy Forge axe attachment there. I wish I had some sandals. I need to source out some sandals.
Yeah.
I can't have these guys running around barefoot. It makes me nervous. I'm a klutz. I need to be wearing shoes or something on my feet at all times. Uh, my dad
that's
almost
fair.
got his toe caught in a blanket and kind of like broke it and almost ripped it off entirely.
Oh,
And
wow.
he didn't even know about it till he saw like the trail of blood. Uh, so it just makes me nervous. So I don't really like having. Anyway, TMI. Don't like having my toys with bare feet. Moving on. Uh, hey, another night. Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
dwarf.
This one's not a dwarf.
Oh, is he not? No, he's.
Yeah,
Oh, his legs are
yeah,
too. Yeah.
that's a barbarian. So that's the original barbarian bearded helmet, but it has the new dwarf beard shoved
Gotcha.
up in there. Yeah, they don't fit together factory part wise. You gotta chop some things up and glue it in there, but it's amazing how the helmet kind of like lines up with the beard there, and it
Yeah,
came together real nice. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Josh. More pants, but for skeletons. Joshua Connors, I think, made those pants for me. They came off of his Etsy store. I don't remember the exact name, but I think it's like JCC.
Hmm.
He made those. And the head is another my action figure custom along with that mace, the sword. I don't remember what that's from. So, uh, oh yeah, that's right, Greg. I need to see what's up with that. I think they ran out of the sandals at Legion's Con. Oh yeah, yeah. Again, the
I love-
Silverhorn Centuries are like
Yeah,
one of my favorite builds. That's one of the earliest knights that I had. That I got that way back when freaking Otho was on the site for weeks, and he was just like, "Hey, no one wants this. I guess I'll pick up an Otho and another Silverhorn Century." Since then, I've wanted to make more kind of Silverhorn type characters without hooves and
right.
get different heads on because I just love those colors and the idea of them so much. I just wanted to look a little more diverse. So that's just another example. God, I love that head sculpt. Ah, you pulled this from somewhere.
So yes, actually,
Yeah.
Kevin went. So the story back Legion's Con, Kevin didn't
Uh-huh.
actually get to come because he was sick. Um, Ended up having to take him to the hospital, so I came and did the Legion's Con by myself. But I knew he would want to see every single custom that you had on your table, and if you'll remember,
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Yeah,
sat there and videoed your entire table.
that's right.
So Kevin pulled this videos and he said he's interested in how you painted the pattern on the chest of like this guy, and how you did the spikes on the next guy. But this, he's wondering how you did the pattern here.
The only thing painted on this figure that is my work, that is not factory, is the sword and the shield.
Oh
That's
wow.
it. That body is from Conan, Super 7 Conan figures. I think his name is Thorgrim from the first wave. So that's one of the two bad guys in that wave. You want to see what that guy looks like now? Let's get a close up of this. He looks like
Okay.
this now.
Hang on. Let me.
This happens all the time. I'll put
Oh,
something together and it won't ever stay. Most of the time, it doesn't stay like this forever. I like the head and cape off of this guy so much. And again, I don't mind using parts for other things that I made a mage.
gotcha.
So this is a Mezco Barbarian accessory pack head, along with this cape. I think it's in the same pack. So I ended up making this wizard because got more inspiration. The accessory pack came with the extra staves,
Right.
and I think that's from Zende. And let's see, there's a bunch of guys on here. The upper torso is a Doctor Strange from the movies, Doctor Strange torso.
Mhm.
Uh, this lower piece is a Jedi from Star Wars Black Series. I don't remember which one. When I bought it, it didn't come with a head, but I just wanted to make another wizard. So yeah, that guy turned into this. But I mean, really going back to this, it's all factory paint.
Gotcha.
All I did was take the head off and put other things on it, and that's it. So I think it's I don't remember if it's Conan the Barbarian or what I forget the order of the Barbarian films, but Super 7. Look for this, you get this body exactly. I
Okay.
think even Mezco, I think they still have Barbarian accessory packs up, so you may be able to put most of that figure together besides the shield and the axe. I don't remember where the shield and axe came from. It may be Sabadom and Wolf King.
Gotcha.
That sword is a toy forge.
And then this one was the little what? How do you say it? The spikes on the purple guy.
Yeah, yeah, that was a My Action Figure custom torso from way back. I think the head as well, and the staff is from the Dark Raider. That was the Spawn Dark Ages. That was a centaur.
Oh wow,
That was a cool centaur. That
that's awesome.
was a really cool centaur. Um, it just looks like a magic staff to me, so I put it in his hands, and it has the tail of Malphar. I love
Wow.
that tail. Only Malphar has that tail, and I'm trying to figure out more ways to apply that thing to something else that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we see that again.
All right. So that's all the pictures I have, and we have talked your ear off. We have a couple of giveaways to do today. The first one that we're going to give away, let's go ahead and get that going, is the Sphyxian Block Commander. We are going to give away today. So let me see. I'm going to see if I can share. This is always the hard part for me. Share screen. All right. And we are going to go hashtag Sphyxian. So if you guys will start entering hashtag Sphyxian, we are going to give away the Sphyxian Block Commander. Um, Probably 5 or 10 minutes. We'll let you guys enter, and then we'll give that away.
That may be my favorite character type in Cosmic at the moment. We have three of them.
Yeah,
Uh, the minor will be out real soon. That'll
yeah,
be shipping soon.
yeah. We've got the two, and then the minor is the white one, right? And that the
That's
other
right.
coming out. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm excited for that as is, and I want to paint up a helmet to go with that.
Oh yeah.
I want to take one apart and use the black arms and legs on other things. I'm like, I'm ready to have it and then tear it apart. Lots of fun.
Yeah, that's a great one. We're blessed to have gifts given to us to be able to give some stuff away on the show. So that's awesome. Um, let's see.
I have a question.
Oh yeah.
So when you're doing customs,
Mhm.
what do you do if like halfway through you're like, oh, I really don't like this? Do you just like tear it all apart?
Sometimes, I mean, it may just come down to like I'm using like maybe it looks better with fabric legs instead of armored. Um, this would happen a lot. Even if in the line there was a character that would come along that I didn't like too much, I would get two because one, you always kind of regret not picking up something later on for whatever reason, and two, like what don't I like about it? Well, I'll do something to it until I like it. So that's like I consider it a challenge. Like what's not working for me, I'll find ways to make it work. Um, yeah, like I said with that barbarian that we had just seen, I just saw something else that made me be like, I like these parts on something else. Like this looks cool, but it's just like a head away from being something else. I don't like anything to go to waste. That's why I have just bins and bins of parts behind me. I'll spend hours just swapping things around. I don't like to paint over my work too often. It's more that I'll just try to find other parts from something else, maybe something new that complement that old piece better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how did it feel when they came to you and said, listen, why don't you create a knight?
It started at ZoloCon. Uh, it might have been the one that Jeremy had his birthday around. It was slow during that part of the day, so he pulled me aside because he was going to be leaving from there and was like, "Let's talk about the next wave of figures. Here's my ideas. Here's what me and Eric have been talking about." And we're just like running down like, this character, that character, and he would go into so much detail about all the characters except he's like, there's going to be a knight, just some other knight. I don't know. We haven't figured it out yet. But there's going to be the skeleton guy, and he's going to be the son of Necronominus, and he's all the details. So it always kind of stuck out. It's like you know everything about this one character, about all the characters except this one. I was like, all right, I guess we'll just figure it out. And then the next week when Eric's in the studio, he's like, I know Jeremy talked to you about this wave. Let's nail down All Stars 6. So he has a printout. We're talking about all the things. He's like, yeah, this character's that character's this, this character, Sir Andrew, and we want you to design it. And I was like, whoa, what? Like, okay, yes, yes, please, thank you. Oh,
So
thank you, really, thank you. Like, oh man, no, it was great, and like part of me wishes I would have come up with a more intricate design because really it just kind of looks like a Copper Legion builder with a little more detail to it. But like I said, C Jessam with the like coming through with those soft goods like really nails it. And like I wanted other parts for it, so they were like, calm down, Joe. Like you don't need to put every freaking night part out there on this thing. Um, like just save some for later, essentially. But like I said, I don't normally like write stories to customs, but it was neat to create something that I knew was going to like officially exist in this world, and I wanted to make sure that it had a story that might be familiar to some people, but different from everything else. Again, like whatever I make, I want it to look like it exists in this world. So to
Right.
pull a little bit from like, of course, there's a dwarf involved, um, and magic and all that sort of things, and a little bit of tragedy where it's a good guy, but it's got a little bit of a dark history. I always appreciate those kinds of characters, so it was a lot of fun. And the bio to this guy, it could have been like a 12-page comic book the way that I wrote it, and I would send it to Jeremy, and he'd be like, "You need to trim this down a lot, like a lot." So I all right, I took some stuff off, I'd send it back, and he goes, "You know how much more a lot is? A lot more than what you trimmed off." So like he would shorten it, and he'd have his version, he'd send it back like, "How about this?" And I'd see it and be like, "Nah, it really needs to have that part." And I'd send it back, so we just bounced it between. It was like, all right, we need to nail this down like soon. So eventually I agreed on it, but the character had so much more in the backstory, like entire scenes in my head that you just don't don't know about that
Right.
don't really matter now unless
Right.
something comes down the line. It's you actually get to see them. But no, it was a blast, and I was honored to get the opportunity, and it was just so much fun.
That's
It,
awesome.
it it's yeah, it really is. And I did ask my son, like, I'm getting to make a knight, Sir Andrew. I brought him to the studio on the weekend. I showed him all the parts I had. He's like, "Can I have dragon wings?" I'm like, I don't think so. And maybe a deluxe. And I asked him like, "Can I have bird wings?" Because I was thinking about maybe making him an angel.
Right.
And they're like, "Nah, I can't have bird wings." And that's one of the reasons why the soft goods looks like wings. So that
Right.
was and the pauldrons as well. That was my kind of roundabout way of he's like, "I want wings," so we kind of got wings.
Right.
But yeah, it was neat to run by the little man what he would like to see in a character named after him. And some stuff he's like, it needs to have a flaming sword. All right, got it. It's like needs to be able to have like fire and be like magic. Okay, got it. And then it was finished and I showed him and he goes, "No, not that." I was like, "Oh, you're killing me." He's like, "Where's the wings?" I'm like, "We had this conversation." So eventually I ended up making him his own Sir Andrew, which is essentially an Adaith, the unknown one, with different horns and some different armor pieces.
Right.
Because Andrew really likes Adaith. I think he just wanted me to make Adaith as
Right.
his knight, but make it look like he was made out of like molten lava, and the armor was kind of like the cooling rock on it. And he even helped me paint up the swords that went to it. He did a really neat like fiery transition in the blade. Like his first time trying, I was
Oh,
like,
that's
"Yo, dude." I'm like, you got to sit down with me and paint sometime." He goes, "Nah, I don't really like it." And I'm like, "Oh man." Like that's like being an awesome singer but being embarrassed to sing.
right.
And he did that with paint. So hopefully at some point I can help like get him into that a little bit more, but if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. You can't force them to do it, but it's
No,
cool
no.
that he had a little bit of say and that you took what
Yeah.
he wanted and found a way to make that happen. To me, that's
It
awesome.
it got wings and flames, and his favorite color was orange, but I couldn't just have orange, so I'm like, all right, what's a armor color that's close to that? And we have a gold. We have two gold skeletons just hanging around the studio. I was like, I've always liked that armor color. I never wanted a gold skeleton because I just didn't, but I love that armor color. So I'm
Right.
like, all right, this guy needs to have that armor color. So it's almost an exact match to the original gold skeleton builder.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, let's give this thing away. Let's see how many that we have for Spexian. Again, hashtag Spexian. We are going to, we've got 26 entries. We
We
have
have
40 some
41
people in there.
people.
All right, come on, people. Hashtag Spexian. We're giving
Even
away.
if you have one, get
Yeah,
another.
they're
Why
fun.
not?
Spexian Block Commander. You guys know you want one.
There's more than one block in prisons.
That's right.
It makes sense to have multiples. Yeah. It's got a great finish.
It does. It is
Very
beautiful.
I don't have that one around. I love the prison guard. The prison guard's probably my favorite
Yeah, that
of them
blue
so
color.
far.
Yeah,
Yeah, that iridescent, it pops so good.
it does.
And again, the factory did a great job of matching the paint master on it,
Yep.
like right down to that like little purple accent and all the blue parts. So you put it in the right light.
Yeah.
The shimmer is like, you won me over.
Yeah, it was beautiful. All right, I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds. We're gonna draw. We've got 28 people so far. 29, yay! Come on. Anybody else? Hashtag Spexian. Getting ready to draw. Got 29 entries. And let's draw.
Who's gonna be the winner?
Hey,
Nice.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations. If you will contact um, Amber, she is going to get that out to you. Just contact her with your address, and we will make sure that you are going to, she'll get that out to you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Congratulations. Woohoo. All right. Um, let's talk about mythic conversation pop and swaps. How did that start?
I can't remember exactly what the first one was, but the one that really sticks out to me is around the time of Retailer Red Krampus, I want to say. Because once that came out, I had wanted a body like that for my Fury Orc clan for the longest time. I ended up just painting up a Belphegor at one point, but
Yeah.
having the factory pieces and durability and the finish on them is like sometimes I'd rather have that. And then seeing all the other things that could go with it, the Furious 4 2-pack, swapping all those things around, getting to make the Furious 4 2-pack with Jeremy, like he designed it, and me getting to paint it after those guys from the show
Right.
was just like, and then seeing the picture that Trevor took of it and how much fun it was, and it's like if you look at all the little details in there, it's like if you know, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so much more fulfilling to see all the work he put into it, and Trevor blew it away. And I always wanted some of my figures to, I always want Trevor to take pictures of something that I worked on and bring it to like his life,
Right.
his version of that world. So that was awesome. Um, yeah, I don't remember if it was the first, but I talk about customizing a lot, and it's not because I don't like what we do initially. I
Right.
really do love it. I have almost one of everything as is, with like maybe a different weapon or, I swap out an armor piece. But it's just the amount of creativity that you get out of this. I know that a lot of people appreciate that. And my favorite subject outside of art and gym in elementary school was show and tell.
Yeah.
And it was almost always an action figure. Almost always. And I'm 40 and I get to do it as part of my living.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Show and tell's the best. But I
So
talk too much, so I apologize.
no, you don't. I'm very, very excited to have you talking to us and telling us these stories, because these are things that like I've not heard. So it's awesome. But when you and Jeremy did that first one, like I can't imagine like the uptick of orders after you guys started.
There's
Showing-
no denying that it helps, but
Yeah.
it's not the purpose.
Right.
Really, it's just trying to get across of just like I don't understand people who don't open these things. You're
Right.
missing out on so much. There's a lot to appreciate when
Right.
they're in the package, the art, the layout, like everything. They look great in package, but there's a whole other world inside of those that there
Right.
people are missing out on,
Absolutely.
and that's where we like to play. So
Yeah. But yeah, the Pop and Chops swap shows are probably one of my favorite things, because you get to see the possibilities, like
right,
not just what you're getting, but the possibility of what you could do with this. And so
right,
I love those. I love that show. And I'm so glad that you and Jeremy get together and do that
yeah,
for this. I mean, and to me, it makes it better. And if we've already ordered something and I see you guys, popping and swapping or whatever, I'm like, we need to order an extra one of those.
um, one thing I do try to take under consideration is for the longest time, I've had the responsibility of picking what goes to shows. I don't do so much of that anymore because when it comes down to it, a lot of the older stock that we used to have is it's just dwindled over the years.
Right.
The more popular it becomes, the more new people who come on who want some of the older items. they go. We don't come back with the older stuff. So it's very limited amount to the point where I don't necessarily need to pick it because it's a lot of new stuff, and that's great. But doing the pop and swaps at the studio, the back office has almost one of everything that has been made, every part in Mythic and Cosmic. So having that in within arm's reach and thinking about what can people actually get their hands on now or from one of our online retailers or at least within the last 2 years where
Right.
they're not necessarily going to have to go on eBay and find something that came out back in 2016 to put together one of the figures that we're working with.
Right.
Um, it's a really great opportunity that a lot of people don't have that I can really think ahead and be like, are we going to have this at a show? Do our retailers have it? What can I make work with this newer item that someone can actually build at home without any paint? You don't need to get a brush or a blade or glue to these things to be creative with it. And that's another thing that like I really try to drive with these. And uh, there's so many customs I don't bother showing because they're pop and swaps.
Right.
Because the possibilities within the line itself and what these things are, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And like I said before, not a lot of things stay as they are on my shelf. They will change through the years. One thing that has become a little more difficult within the last few waves is a lot of the parts are new tooling. They're 3D printed parts. They're fragile. They're hand painted. Uh, we don't want to handle them too much before they go to the factory because I don't want Sherry, Cameron, and Bill to come in the next day and be like, well, Joe had playtime again, and this is all chipped up, and now I need to repaint it before it goes back to the factory. These have been sitting on the shelf for 2 months. They've been done. They were perfect. They were fine. And Joe touched them. They may not say it, but I think it.
Right. Right.
So I need to be really careful about when we're doing those swaps and it's new parts that I'm being super respectful about how I can put them together, and that's why I started to do like a little bit of preemptive work on those. If it was a little bit harder of a build to do, I try to do it ahead of time, take like put it in the post, send the pictures to Jeremy so we could put it up there. So we're not wasting time having I got my headset. I'm running into the back room, not on camera. You hear this, that doors opening, closing up. That's broken. Great. Um, see, I'm just a mess. Nobody wants to sit around and watch that. They want to see things come together. They want to say, "Hey, you have this head. What does it look like on this thing?" Yeah, I want to run to that back. I want to do it for you.
Right.
So that's fun too because I really enjoy this job,
Yeah.
and being able to do things like that is how I can get other people to appreciate what we do and share what I get to do with everyone else. So that's super fulfilling, super fun.
So I did want to talk about some of the cons that you've been to, but I wanted to tell you one of my favorite things that I saw, and I think it was Toylanta last year. Um, on day two, you and Jeremy probably opened some of the packages, did some swaps on some stuff, put them out, and let people actually see
Hmm.
this is this is what it is. These are the characters that we use to make this, but now you've got a whole new character that's not, that you can create yourself. And for me, not always having the eye to be able to see something creative like that,
Hmm.
I thought that was genius. Absolutely genius. They
Well,
did that.
it's all part of the design. It was meant to be that way from the start because it's been mentioned many times before. These were going to be like Glio style figures,
Right.
and even though there's multiple groups or companies that design their own versions of like these characters, all the parts are swappable and compatible. And
Right.
it's fantastic how creative you can be with that. And that is at the heart of all three of these lines that they can be swapped around. You don't see that so much when they're in the package on the table, or even when they're just standing there on display.
Right.
Really being able to take them apart and show people like how adorable most of them are.
Right.
I don't want to get into it, but some
Kind of.
things are easier to take apart than others.
Right.
Being able to show people like it's not just what it is, it's what you can make it. And
Right.
that's a lot of the fun of it. And what I try to do when I'm putting these things together for display purposes, I just kind of follow the colors
Yeah.
to see like what things kind of complement. If you stay monochromatic with a lot of things, like just having different like blacks, silvers, and whites, you put that together, it's amazing how many awesome things you can get out of just following these little rules, complementary colors,
Right.
like blue and orange and purple and red, is it? I forget. But yeah, just following those things, or is it yellow and red? Yeah, there's yellow and purple. I don't remember. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
just having fun with it and just making your own thing of it. Like the
Right.
head pack is the head pack and the barbarian accessory, not barbarian, ogre accessory pack. Those are like the only two things on the table at that time that really showed people that these come apart. You can swap them around outside the barbarian set,
Right.
and just some of the ways the figures are packaged. You don't necessarily see that secondary head.
Yeah.
There may not be a picture of it in the bio or on the back side, and that's another reason. Like you take it out, you show that it has another head, and someone will come along and be like, "I like that one. Where's that?" And you pick it up and you hand it to them. They're like, "No, no, the one with this head." It's like it's in there.
Right.
Like, and you open it up and you're like, show them like, "Oh, it comes with two. You can do that." I'm like, yeah, if you like that head so much, you can put it on that thing too, and just watch them go, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like really? And I'm like, "Let me show you." And it's like, Lego minifigures.
Right.
That's what this is. And just watching them like, get one and then come back a couple hours later and be like, I just spent a lot of time with this thing and I need another.
I need another.
That's a great feeling.
Yes, Curtis. It makes all of us order twice as many figures.
I I need to thank Curtis because I was driving home tonight and I was talking to Jim before he left the studio tonight. He's going to be on his way to Muskegon this weekend, and I had heard Wolfking's going to be there, and Steve Bashotti's going to have some parts there, and I'm like, just because I'm not there doesn't mean I'm not able to get things. So I'm like, maybe I'll see what they have and see if I can pick up a few things. So I shot Curtis a message and said, if you don't mind, I'd like to see, what you have available, and I'll PayPal you, and you can give them to Jim, and he'll bring them back. Curtis had to stop for gas. He's driving. He's on his way there. He had to
Right.
stop for gas, and he saw my message. And instead of being like, "I'll take care of it later," he broke out the box in the car and shot me a video and pulled out piece by piece and said, "I have this. This is this color. It goes to this type of character. I have that. This color. 3 different variations made for this type of character." He had to send me 2 videos because he went through every piece.
Wow.
And I really appreciated that. And I think Darla's doing great work. And it's awesome to see, like, not just Amber, you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
Tanya, like, just watching everybody, like, see someone else who likes it and then have someone else get involved. Like, oh, just like, what you got going on over there? It's just
Yeah.
awesome. So thank you, Curtis and Darla, for your work. Curtis, for taking the time to even, go through the trouble of showing me. Could have been like, nah, not doing that. You got to be there to buy it. And that would have been cool too. But
So, speaking of Curtis and Darla, we are blessed tonight to be able to offer one of Darla's capes.
Yeah, it's nice.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Um,
Love
so,
It's 2 colors, right?
yeah, it's a darker
Yeah.
color on the outside and a lighter color on the inside. And this is amazing. So we are going to give this away, the cape only, not the figure. So you guys talk a minute and let me get this set up. We're going to give this away. I'm so excited. Darla, thank you so much for offering it.
Yeah, that Lady Averona was a great surprise because we hadn't seen a build like hers before with that, kind of like evil, aggressive knight armor on that type of build. Like even the female what was the vampire Legion builder. It didn't even look that aggressive. So yeah, it was lots of fun. What Sherry did with those eyes, it
Oh,
just looks so evil.
she really
Yeah,
was
it's
crazy.
great.
It
Yeah.
was. All right. So if you will type in hashtag Darla's Cape, hashtag Darla's Cape, we are going to give away Darla's Cape before we get off of here tonight. Um, two different shades of red and looks amazing with Lady Averona.
Yeah, it looks like that outer color matches the tabard color. Like it looks really close.
It really does.
Yeah.
She did a great job. And like I said, she sent me, I've got two of hers now. This one is for my new custom that I'm getting ready to do, and it is amazing. I cannot wait to get that. But she does such great work. I'm super excited. All right. So Darla's Cape, lots of hashtags. I know everybody wants that. And Kevin, make sure that you put in your name for us. Because I really okay, so how many like toy shows or cons do you get to go to every year?
I could go to a toy show once a month up here because like about a half hour south, Wayne has a show, has for years, that Joe Viteri actually puts on. Joe Viteri, who is partner in Legion's Con.
Right.
That's one of his shows. So the first weekend of every month, there's a small toy show where the first Legion's Con happened. That usually happens like in the cafeteria area.
Right.
So always in that room and then sometimes other rooms. So once a month there, two toy cons within Jersey, two Zolo cons. So that's already 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Shout the Curiosity, um, RetroCon, 15. Uh, I'd say like close to 17 between New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey a year.
That's awesome.
And some I need to skip out on. And then some, now that, the studio would, likes to have me at events, whether, we're selling or not.
Right.
Like we'll be doing a few more. So of course I'll be seeing you soon in Toylanta.
Yeah.
It was a good time. The venue was good. The selection of stuff that was there, the vendors, it was a good space for it. Tons of variety.
Yeah.
I like to see that. There's other, creatives there. I always like to see other people's works, even outside of Legions, of
Yeah.
course.
I do too.
Yeah, it was a good show, and I wish I was going to MesquiCon, but we're not there yet. Not there yet. They want to keep me from going there myself, but I'm very cheap, so I'll go if you send me.
Right.
If it's
Yeah.
more than 3 hours away, I'm probably not gonna take myself there.
Well, and it was, I think Kevin and I looked it up, and it's like, I don't know, 11, 12 hours. And I'm like, well, if we leave after work on Friday and it doesn't open until 10 and we can sleep for a couple of hours in the car.
Right?
Kevin's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless someone from work wants to go to one of these, and I had a friend of mine, we would go to a lot of shows, and some in like South Jersey. I think like New Jersey Collector Con and in Cherry Hill, that would happen. You know what? Now that I think about it, at the end of this month, there's a thing called Geek Fest in South Jersey. It happens it's held at the high school that I went to.
Oh, wow.
And it's been going on for, I think, 10 years now. This may be the 10th anniversary. I haven't gone to it once, not because I don't want to, but something is always going on. Either like I have it already arranged, like the weekend that happens,
Right.
or I'm already going down there for something again before the weekend after, and it's like 2.5 hour drive for me to go down there for a show and be down there for 2 hours, it's like a 5 hour round trip in one day.
Yeah.
So I would need to have like maybe I stay at mom's, maybe catch up with a friend down there. Like I think I'm actually check it out this year. I think it's March 30th.
Oh
I
wow.
think that's a Saturday. But it'd be neat to like go back to my high school and go to an absolute like dork geek show.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff I was made fun of for liking when I went there. Now they have their own show for it. And then getting to do this for a living, it's like
Right.
it's awesome. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, Dave's not far from there. Dave lives in the town next to where my wife grew up.
Okay.
So I'm pretty familiar with the Orkins territory. Yeah, yeah, Dave, I'll have to hit you up and say hi.
Um. Let's see. All right. So if we're gonna ask you some crazy questions, we're gonna have to start asking you some crazy questions because we ain't got much time.
I
First,
try to answer fast and short.
first we're gonna ask: is there a figure that you really want Four Horsemen to do that they haven't done yet?
Yes, I want a werewolf in Eric Treadway's style. I want a werewolf.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. We've gotten vampires. I feel like after vampires, like that just seems to be the natural progression of things.
Right.
And you could do it in Mythic, you could do it in a figura obscura, like that type of character. It fits
Right.
in either one of those worlds. I've said it for years now, even like a gargoyle type, but I feel like we kind of got that with Varg,
Yeah.
that to me, like, so that kind of happened already, but I haven't seen a werewolf.
Yeah. That would be cool. I agree. I would like to see one too. Of course, I would
Yeah.
like to see them all. They're amazing. All right. Amber, you're up. Question.
All right. Crazy questions, right?
Go.
Where
Yeah.
did you grow up?
Westville, New Jersey. The gateway to South Jersey, I think they call it, because it's like right there on the edge. It's like 15 minutes southeast of Philadelphia. Philadelphia is my city, not New York, Philadelphia.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you an only child?
No, I have a younger sister. Lisa, 6 years 6 years younger.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're still tight. We talk often.
that's good.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
You prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs. But I'm enough dog myself for this whole household. So that's why we have 6 cats to even it out. We have 6 cats. Some of them are special needs. My wife had started to foster during COVID times because she was working from home 3 days a week and would go into the office for 2. So her hobby is like animal rehabilitation. She got a lot of practice with me, I'll tell you. So some that we bring in, they need like, medications throughout the day. They need to be kept away from other cats. So we have a whole bathroom that's like devoted to them. We have heating pads. If we need like some kind of breathing apparatus, like we can do it. But she's kind of like a low level vet tech
That's
looking
awesome.
after these animals every now and then. I try not to get too attached because I've already said like she started doing it. I'm like, we're not keeping any. Nope, not keeping any. Since then, we've taken 2 that we fostered.
Yes.
And then one got really close to me, and like she really likes me. I guess I really like her. So I'm like, we're keeping this one. And Katie's like, no, no, we're not. Like she's got to go back, and I'm like, just this one. And that was our number 5. That was our number 5. And then my son got really attached to this other cat that she had bad infection in her eyes from when she was a kitten. They had to be removed. So she's completely blind, but you can't tell. She plays with all the other ones so well. She
Right.
plays fetch. My blind cat plays fetch. It's amazing. I love it.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
but dogs.
What was your first pet?
Probably a goldfish, in which name I can't remember, which probably died and was replaced multiple times after the water was cleaned. Our
I've,
town water had that situation where if you don't like let it sit out overnight and evaporate all the junk,
right.
that the fish don't last long in it. So looking back on it, my first three or four couple of fish all had the same name because I thought they were the same one until I was told eventually that they didn't last very long. It was rough.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was your favorite vacation as a kid?
Wildwood, New Jersey before it got really crazy. Lots of rides, lots of games.
Yeah.
Wasn't too much of a beach guy. When I was really younger, I got taken out by a couple waves. I wasn't swimming all that great, and I would just like get like I would swallow so much seawater. It was bad. I do a lot better now, but I'd have
So
to say
happens.
like early 90s in Wildwood, and then from then on we go to Ocean City. I think I've gone to Ocean City for a weekend almost every year besides COVID times since like 95.
Wow.
And we do that with our family to this day. Except now we get a beach house and we do it for a week. And it's cool, but I want to see other beach points. That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's the favorite vacation that you've ever been on, like your entire life? What is your favorite?
This is a cop out because I know other people have said it. And it may also be my favorite holiday.
Yeah,
You tell me.
Legion's Con.
It's true.
It is
It is
It's true.
a a geek holiday if ever there was one.
family reunion.
Yep, and getting to intern for a day is fun. People getting to see what we see every day and getting an experience to live that for a little bit. It's awesome. Legion's Con, getting to see everybody's work and all the
Yeah.
love and skill that goes into what everyone's doing out there.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
G-Con, when I finally get to tell everybody what I've seen for like months, and I don't have to like watch what I say anymore because they're like, look,
Oh,
there it is. That's the thing. Isn't it cool? It's cool. It's so
so
cool.
fun.
Finally, it's like such a thing, like lifted off the shoulders, but it's a lot of work. It's so much work.
Oh, I
Like
know it is.
it's like getting the house ready for family to come over.
Right.
It's like getting the business ready for like, and then the event, the venue, getting that ready for
Right.
months in advance. So much work goes into it that it has become my favorite, like my favorite holiday, my favorite vacation, even though I don't leave the state for it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
See. What is your absolute best memory as a kid?
Uh, this may be it. Um, Philadelphia Comic Con, 1993, getting my picture with Spider-Man when I was wearing a Spider-Man shirt
Oh, that's cool.
and getting a movie poster signed by RoboCop himself.
Oh, wow.
My
That's
That-
friends call me Murphy. Thanks, Joe. Like, wow, that was awesome. And my dad basically being like, he taking me there and being like, you have $100, and like I it happened in '93 the way my age and my grades go. In '92 I was in second grade. In '93 I was in third grade, so I can like I know like what year it is. Like when you're third grade, $100 is like $1 million.
yeah.
And being like that's all you get and food included. So like you stay within that, like don't bug me for nothing else and you do whatever you want. And that was a good time, and getting to spend time with him. Yeah, that was a good time.
That's
It was
awesome.
total another like dorky time. Yeah.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
So we went to a Comic Con with my son, and he was younger, but he was taking pictures, and he would take pictures and do things. And we ran into a guy dressed up as Gambit, and it was, he was a perfect representation of Gambit. I mean, it was amazing. So Logan wanted to take a picture of him. So Logan stood there and got the camera ready, and the guy, posed with his cards, and Logan snapped the picture. And Kevin had, a Nikon camera. It was a really nice camera. And we got home, and Kevin pulled the pictures off. And where the dude was standing, it looked like the card was lit up the way that Gambit's card.
Wow.
There was nothing that we did to that photo to make that card light up. It was the light coming through the window, hitting that card at the exact time that Logan took the picture. And so Logan remembers that, because that is one of the best, pictures. When we got home, it really looks like Gambit. And
that's amazing. Awesome. Yeah, like totally unplanned. Things just line up.
Yeah.
I love it when stuff like that happens.
It's crazy, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
I don't know, but everyone would probably tell you buffalo wings. There's got to be a reason why.
Yeah, you must eat them quite often.
If once a week is quite often, then yeah.
Yeah, that's quite often.
Yeah. I guess, you know what? It's probably buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Followed by like crab legs.
Well, the only thing I don't like about crab legs is it's too much work to eat them.
Yeah, I don't mind. You get to use a hammer for dinner. Awesome. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, buddy. Hi. Andrew, say hi.
Hey, Andrew.
How are you? In, Amber. It's bedtime. You feeling all right? He visited Ellis Island today.
That's
for a field trip for school. Yeah, so it's first time on a boat.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we may go back over summer sometime, maybe catch Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah. Did you have fun, Andrew?
Did you have fun? Yeah, good.
That's awesome.
I'll catch you later. Oh, Lena. All right, night, buddy. Love you. Okay. Be careful. Don't trip. Yeah, I'm glad the camera can't see how this room is. I may be a hoarder. I can't tell. I say collector. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. All right. Next question.
All right. Before we go on, we're at 9:23. I really have to honor our 9:30 time because I get up at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, so, please.
We are going to pull, I'm going to add this again. It's the cape, Darla's cape, #Darla's cape. Please, please, please put that in. We're getting ready to draw for Darla's cape. Let me share the screen. Last time I did not do this, and we pulled it, and they didn't get to see who won. Darla's cape. I've got 24 entries. I know there are more than 24 people, and you cannot tell me that you don't want Darla's cape because it is awesome.
You may think you don't, but you do.
You do. You want this cape because it is amazing. Even if you don't have this character, those colors are going to match one of your other characters. Trust me, you want this.
And there's a chance if you ever make it out to our shows or a lot of our online retailers, there's a really good chance you can get a Lady Averona. If you don't have one, highly recommend it. She's one of the best, for sure.
She is beautiful. All right, just another minute. We will draw. What is your favorite restaurant?
Oh. I joke around with everyone at the studio that I need a T-shirt that says "Body by Bella." Bella Notte is the pizza place that is within walking distance to the studio, and I may eat there twice a week.
Wow.
That's not good. So maybe my favorite food's pizza, but I
Yeah.
get wings from there every now and then. I can't tell. Like I said, I don't know. Outside of that, Texas Roadhouse, and I know that's another thing people put out there. I get the same thing every time, 8-ounce sirloin with chili and green beans that are made in bacon, so I'll allow it, and a side of ribs,
That's
and I'm a
awesome.
happy boy with sweet tea. Yeah, I could eat that every day till the
Oh,
end.
love it.
And the end will come quick if I ate like that every day. So,
Yes, yes, it will.
yeah.
All right, let's draw for Darla's cape. I am going to push 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's draw.
Here we go. Land on Rygon.
Land on Mark.
Markar, congratulations.
Yay! Congratulations, Mark. If you will reach out to Curtis, I know he is at MesquiCon this weekend, but reach out to him and he will get that in the mail to you once he has your address. Congratulations, Mark. We are all jealous that you got that because we both wanted it, just so you know.
I'm sure he'll enjoy it. And speaking of Ragon, what an awesome nickname. Seriously, I'm jealous. I'm a Joe. There's way too many freaking Joes. I say Joe V, so you know which Joe you're talking about, but even at the studio there's Joe Viteri. So there's already a Joe V involved before
Right.
like me. So it's like you say Joe V, it's like which one?
Which one?
You know? But Rygon, who's getting that mixed up, right? Good
There's no.
for him.
True.
I
All
love
right.
it.
We are going to jump down to the end because we're running out of time, and I want you to have time to think about this and give me the best answer ever.
Oh boy. Okay.
Ever.
Ready?
All right, here we go.
This is the good one. This is the one everybody's waiting for.
Black.
Everybody is here.
Black.
What is the one thing that you can tell us that you haven't told anyone?
Top secret.
That's a dark one.
I know it's hard.
Um,
Just one thing.
you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna take it back,
Okay.
and it's gonna be controversial, and I don't care.
Okay.
Princess Peach is the best character in Mario Kart. That's it. That's it. I said it. I said it. Nobody knows that outside this house. Whenever we play Mario Kart, I play as Princess Peach. She's got the best handling. She's not too small and not too heavy. So, like all the cars that she can get in, it works like really well, depending on the tires, of course. Um, the handling is just like so smooth. Princess Peach all the way. That's it.
Princess Peach.
All the way.
There you go.
All the way.
We got it.
That's it.
George,
What am I supposed to say? What, Yoshi? A toadstool? All right, or bone like dry bone Bowser. He looks cool, but his handling is shit. All right,
all right.
Princess Peach.
And Joe, last question of the night. How big are you hoping the dragon is going to be?
I can't say. How big I hope the dragon is. Will be. On that note, I would like to ceremoniously break apart this Roman Reigns action figure. I heard that's a thing. That's happened before, right? So he's dead now. The head, see? Bye-bye, Roman. Big dog going down.
Honor.
Done.
Oh, man.
Bye-bye, Roman.
Gosh.
That's what you get.
Oh,
I
Curtis.
just want to run something by you guys. I was going through my fodder bins. Anybody familiar with X-Men over there?
Yes.
Do you remember a Mutant X title a little while back? Like, oh yeah, of course, duh. All right, yeah, yeah, big dork. That's who I have. I said it'd be one of many, but it's the only one I've gotten
Yeah.
since. The Angel in that storyline is more like a demon. than anything. And I was going through my fodder bin, and I found these,
Oh, wow.
and it got me thinking, what would these look good on? So, I don't know. What kind of head would you like on your Legions lady custom? Because I got the wings pretty much good to go. You let me know. I'd like to make that happen. I don't know if anyone's done one yet, but I saw these around and it's almost like they were made to be. Yeah, these are from that Angel from Mutant X, that old toy line from Toy Biz. I saw these and like that needs to happen. I got my axe ready. I got a head. I forget what this is. I don't know what that came off of, but I got some stuff over here. I need to get that worked out.
Yes,
But
you
let me
do.
know. Hopefully before Legion's Con, or at least by Legion's Con, that would be cool.
Yeah.
We will do that. That is awesome, Joe.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
sure.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic. Oh, yay. I can't wait to see it now.
Right.
Yeah, I got some things to work out. Like I don't know how I'm gonna like. It has a weird attachment there, so I don't know how I'm gonna get that to work. I may need to get some Lego involved and get it like on a ball joint or something.
Yeah,
But yeah, got some stuff to figure out. Could be
that's
fun.
Joe, we want to thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for spending the night with us, talking to us, and answering the great questions and the crazy ones.
Yeah, thanks. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
We appreciate you very much. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks, Toylanta. Whose house? Oh, question. Whose house is it going to, Amber or Tanya? Well, it'll go to Amber first, and then she'll bring it to me, and then I'll take it the next time I see her, and then I'll take it back to her. So,
No, I think that'd be a great idea. More
swap.
likely to run into Amber, honestly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Since they're so close, I think
Yeah,
it should go to Amber first.
yeah, and it's not gonna be done by next weekend. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm only a little disappointed.
Amber's.
Sorry. I
All
don't
right.
mean to tease.
So we are going to put you in the green room. If you need to go, go. If not, we'll be there just a minute. We're going to close out, and then we'll be right there.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. It was a blast.
It was so much. Thank you, Joe.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
All right. We have one more thing or a couple more things. First, upcoming shows. Now, there's some new shows that have popped up, and I do need to add those to my list. I do not have them on here right now, but these are the ones that I've got so far, and I will start looking at when all the rest of them are going to take place. Please go check out other Legion shows. We love this community, and it is a lot of fun to have something to watch just about every day. And then we do want to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Immortal Collections. They are wonderful. Saturdays at noon, you can see them and watch them actually create something live, and it is really cool. Amber, anything from you?
Nothing. Just
All
have a
right.
good night, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone. We truly appreciate you joining us. And Mark, we are very, very jealous that you got that cape. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.